Now a certain man was ill, Lazarus of Bethany, the home of Mary and her sister Martha. It was Mary who anointed the Lord's feet with oil and wiped them with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was ill. So the sisters sent to Jesus and they said, "Lord, the one you love is ill." Now Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, and so when he heard that he was ill, he remained 2 days longer in the place where he was. Then he said to his disciples, "Let's go again into Judea." They said, "Lord, the Judeans were just trying to stone you. You'll go there again?" Jesus said, "Our beloved friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, and I'm going to wake him up." They said, "Lord, if he's asleep, he'll recover." But Jesus was talking about the sleep of death, whereas they thought he was talking about the sleep of slumber. And so Jesus said to them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. And I am glad that I was not there, so that you may believe. Let's go to him." Thomas, the one called Twin, said, "Let's go with him, so that we may die with him." When Jesus arrived at Bethany, Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now many of the Judeans had come out from Jerusalem to comfort the sisters concerning their brother. Jerusalem was not very far, only a few miles away. When Martha heard that Jesus was arriving, she went out to meet him. And she said to him, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I believe that anything you ask God, God will give you." Jesus said, "Your brother will rise again." She said, "I know he'll rise again at the resurrection of the last day." Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. If any believe in me, even though they die, they will live. But if any believe in me, they will never die. Do you believe this?" She said, "Yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God who is coming into the world." She said this, and then she went and found her sister Mary, who was still in the house. And she said to her quietly, "The teacher is asking for you." Well, the Judeans who were comforting Mary, when they heard that, and she got up and she went out, when they saw her get up and go out, they went after her, assuming she was going to the tomb to mourn. Jesus had not yet arrived in the village. He was still out in the place where Martha had met him. And when Mary arrived, she fell at his feet and she said, "Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and those who had come with her also weeping, he became angry in spirit. And he said, "Where have you laid him?" They said, "Lord, come and see." Jesus wept. Some of them said, "Look how he loved him." But others said, "Couldn't someone who opened the eyes of a blind man have kept him from dying?" Well, when Jesus came to the tomb, it was a cave hewn out of rock with a stone rolled against the door of the tomb. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, the sister of the dead man, said, "Lord, he's been in there for 4 days. There'll be a stench." But Jesus said, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God?" And they took away the stone. And then Jesus lifted up his eyes to heaven and he said, "Father, I thank you that you've heard me. I know that you always hear me, but I've said this for the sake of those standing here, so that they may know that you have sent me." And then he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out!" And the dead man came out, bound in the linen bandages and with the face cloth around his face. And Jesus said, "Unbind him and let him go." Well, many of those who saw what he had done put their faith in him, but others went away to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. And the Pharisees gathered together the chief priests, and they said, "What are we going to do? This man performs many signs. If we let him go on like this, everybody's going to believe in him, and then the Romans will come and they will take away our holy place in our nation." Caiaphas, who was the high priest that year, got up and he said, you don't know anything. You don't realize it is better that one man die than that the whole nation should perish. He said this not on his own, but as high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus should die for the nation, and not for the nation alone, but so that all the children of God might be gathered into one. And from that time on, they sought how they were going to put him to death.